Most people don't lose authority because of what they say. They lose it because of how they say it. And the problem is they don't even realize it's happening because modern communication has trained people to confuse emotional intensity with strength. So now you have people who think sounding aggressive means sounding powerful. People who think profanity automatically makes them look dominant. People who think louder emotion equals stronger leadership. But in high-stakes conversations, the opposite is usually true. There are small language habits that seem harmless but quietly signal something very different to people listening, especially in professional environments. Leadership environments, negotiations, conflicts, where there's pressure. And if you want to be taken seriously, you need to catch these habits early because authority is rarely lost dramatically. Usually it leaks out through language, one sentence at a time. Emotional amplifiers and performative profanity. The first sign is this: you rely on emotional amplifiers. And one of the biggest examples today is performative profanity. Not strategic profanity, not intentional emphasis. I'm talking about the constant need to inject profanity into ordinary statements just to sound powerful. Things like, yeah, you can effing use profanity on this channel. Or, I don't effing care what people think of me because I'm rich and successful. Or, let's get this effing meeting started. People think this sounds confident, dominant, like the alpha, but most of the time it signals emotional dependency on intensity. Because when every sentence needs aggression to feel important, the words themselves usually aren't carrying enough weight. And people can feel that. Now, to be clear, profanity itself is not the issue. Strategic profanity can absolutely create emphasis. Sometimes it creates urgency. Sometimes it creates authenticity. Sometimes it even cuts through the noise. But there's a difference between controlled emphasis and compulsive emotional decoration. One is intentional. The other is insecurity disguised as confidence. Because truly powerful communicators usually don't need every sentence to sound emotionally loaded. Their clarity already carries the weight. The second sign is lack of precision. Your language lacks precision. You talk around the issue instead of defining it. For example, instead of saying, this process fails at step 3 because the inputs are inconsistent, you say, the whole thing is a mess. Or, this project is completely screwed. Nobody here knows what the hell they're doing. Again, it feels emotionally satisfying in the moment. But emotionally satisfying language is not the same thing as effective language. One sounds like leadership, the other sounds reactive. And people feel that difference immediately. Precise communicators create trust. Emotional communicators create tension. Now here's how you can reset this. But here's what most people miss. People don't respect how strongly you react. They respect how clearly you define the problem. Anybody can escalate emotion. Very few people can maintain clarity under pressure. That's why composure stands out, because it's rare. The third sign, and this is a big one, your language breaks down under pressure. When the conversation gets tense, your words get looser, more emotional, more reactive, more profanity, more exaggeration and less control. And that moment, that's when people decide who you are. Because anybody can sound composed when things are easy. Authority is revealed when pressure enters the room. When somebody challenges you publicly, when expectations change suddenly, when emotions rise, That's where communication habits become visible. And people are always watching for one thing. Can the person stay clear without losing control of themselves? Because composure under pressure is one of the strongest authority signals that exists. So what do you do instead? Simple, but not easy. When you feel your language escalating, pause. Ask yourself, what am I actually trying to say? Not what you feel. Not what sounds dramatic. Not what sounds dominant. What are you actually trying to communicate? Then say that. Clearly, directly, without emotional filler, without performative aggression, without unnecessary verbal intensity, because calm precision carries more authority than emotional volume ever will. Instead of, "This is effing ridiculous," or "I'm so effing tired of this process," or even, "Nobody knows what the hell they're doing," say something like this: "This process keeps failing at the same point," or "The expectations were unclear from the beginning." Or you could even try something like this: "This doesn't work and here's why." Now you're not performing emotion, you're communicating with control. And control is what people actually associate with authority. Your language is never neutral. It's always signaling something. Control or lack of it. Clarity or emotional dependency. Most people never notice the difference, but the people who matter, they do.